So we just determined how the sleeve was to be measured. And we've measured Tiara, and Brittany, you came up with 17. I had 17 and a quarter. That's close enough. And we also shortened that measurement to 16 because we don't want it all up in the arm. So it's going to drop down about an inch. So with that in mind, we're going to measure this and find out where 16 inches is. And 16 is about here. Okay? And we've also looked at the picture and determined that the bottom button is hitting the woman right about the wrist area. The problem with this pattern is that there's no mark in there to tell you where the sleeve should be. And actually, another thing you can look at is that the height of this is where it should be, the highest point of the sleeve. But if you see where the bottom button is, it's about 5/8, because here's where you take 5/8, go up, and that, remember, seam allowance is there. So that's about where that would be, which means the bottom button's a little lower than that. So let's take off, not 2 inches, just to be safe. Let's take off 1.5 inches. Okay? So if we're going to take off 1.5 inches, the one thing that they give us here is they give us 2 lines, and we can split that in half. So we could take 3/4 from the bottom and 3/4 from the top instead of doing a full 2 inches. So the one thing you want to do is draw, okay, we have our grain line here, which is not perpendicular to either of our lengthen and shorten lines. So we can do perpendicular like this. I lay the ruler on the lengthen and shorten line, draw a line. I lay it on the lengthen and shorten line here. So it looks like this is perpendicular. Yeah, it is. So I want the grain line to go through it, okay? So 3/4 divided in half is what? 3/8. So we're now going to fold this 3/8, and we're going to keep this line, okay? Keep that one straight. And let's see, I went too far, I've gone a half. Three-eighths. So we're splitting the difference. So that half, now there is a way of measuring a person's upper arm to the elbow and then elbow to the wrist, but this pattern is not telling us where the elbow falls in here. So I'm just going to split the difference and shorten it in 2 places. So 3/8 and 3/8. On this one, I'm going to do the same thing. This line is perpendicular to the grain line. So I'm just going to fold it up 3/8. Here we go. So that's why we don't do the sleeve the same as we do the body. They are totally unrelated. Now this one, I need to do a line that's perpendicular to this, so I can use it to fold on. It's not my grain line.
If you're doing view A, you don't need to shorten it.
No, well, you do need to plan where you want that sleeve to land on you.
Okay.
Yeah, you do. So,
Yeah.
you know, on me, a 3/4 length sleeve is a short sleeve.
Yeah.
So on you, it would be different. So you need to know where you want that hem to fall. This is where all alterations and things are taken care of in the pattern. Thing is, now, if I ever made this for her again, I just cut it out. I don't even have to think about it anymore, unless something drastically changes. Okay, so now I'm taping this. Okay, and I gotta do the back side of this one. So now all pieces, lengthwise, have been altered. And I can just cut them out now. I have to true these though. So right here, you can see it's pretty, it's just make this line fatter, okay? And even here. But on this side, over here, I'm good, but right there, I got a problem. And what I'm trying to do is true from about here. Do you see how there's a point there for the hem? I need to true to those point, to that point. Okay? Because then it jets back out. But actually, because we're making A, that's gonna get cut off. I mean B. That little point, which is for the hem, is gonna get cut off.
Gotcha.
That's for if you're gonna cut out that view, which was A, which we're not. So now I'm going back to here. That looks good, that looks fine, that looks fine, but again, I've got to go from here to about there. And actually, I'm just gonna go all the way down to there. So now I've got all my cut lines drawn. I can pin the pattern down now and cut it out. Everything has been altered. Okay, and the other thing was I made sure that everything came together. That when I true the line, they all are similar, the ones that get sewn together. Okay?